A very good afternoon to you, our viewers. This is the Midday News. My name is Sharon Kalimbula. The top stories on our desk this afternoon. President Hakainde Hichilema denies being a puppet of the West. A.C.C to appeal against RONALD CHITOTELA'S discharge by the Magistrate Court.
The trajectory of the business looks very positive, and it looks like we'll be able to launch the ministry.
There's so much data.
Mom?
Yes, baby?
It says here, global warming and climate change is caused by the pollution from careless activities of human beings.
Wow!
Son, do you know I can turn my phone into a TV remote?
How's that possible?
It's so easy. Check this out.
Be smart, be fast with mega data from Zamtel. Get your 15 GB mobile data for only 100 kwacha, 30 GB mobile data for only 200 kwacha, and your 70 GB LTE data bundle with free Netflix, YouTube, Facebook, and WhatsApp. Visit our Facebook page, website, or service centers countrywide for more information. Zamtel, your digital lifestyle partner.
The Midday News in detail. Zambia's Republican President Hakainde Hichilema says driving economic success is not equivalent to being a bootlicker or an agent of imperialism of the European Union. Speaking at the launch of the European Union Zambia Economic Business Forum in Lusaka Wednesday, President Hichilema says it is urgent for the people of Zambia and is keen on making their lives easier by attracting beneficial investment. He says people in the country need to draft debate away from things that are not on the agenda of reconstructing the economy. And President Hichilema says the EU market is very difficult for the African business to access and has called on EU to open up its market to Africa and its businesses. Details in this report.
The first ever European Union Zambia Economic Business Forum has commenced in Lusaka at the Molongoshi Conference Center and is being held under the theme Economic Transformation Through Green Growth. Several local and European Union businesses are exhibiting at the forum in an effort to improve investment between the EU and Zambia. And Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema, who officially launched the program, says driving economic success is not equivalent to being a bootlicker or an agent of imperialism of the European Union, as is being purported by some sector of society.
Driving economic success is not equivalent to being a bootlicker to anyone. It's not equivalent to the agent of imperialism. I'm no agent of no one. I'm an agent of the people of Zambia to make their.
And President Hichilema says the European Union market is very difficult for African businesses to access and has called on the EU to open up its markets to African products and businesses.
EU. There are many things we need to look at. Sometimes your market is difficult to access. Can we open it up a bit? Let's open it up. The opposite is equally true. Sometimes we have our own rigidities here.
Meanwhile, European Union Commissioner for Economic Development, Trade, Industry and Mining Ambassador Albert Muchanga has called for the release of the fund meant for the green transition, which the polluters of the world are supposed to pay to the affected countries.
The principle in green transition is that the polluter pays. Developed countries make commitments for the rest of the world to embark on a green transition. And so far, those funds have not been released. So we make another call for the release of those funds.
And European Union Commissioner for Agriculture says the agriculture sector has come under attack due to climate change and that small agriculture businesses have mostly been affected, thereby posing a danger to food security. He says there is need to find a lasting solution to climate change by investing in smart agriculture system.
Zambia can count on the European Union as a partner. The country with its vast agricultural sector, natural resources, and young population has a huge potential. We are keen to set together the right conditions to exploit these possibilities for the country's sustainable and inclusive development.
The president also took time to visit some of the local and international businesses exhibiting at the forum and encouraged them to ensure that they clinch business deals. Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, President Hichilema says Africa is not threatening the European Union by demanding that it begins to add value to its products before exportation. During the panel discussion at the European Union Zambia Economic Business Forum, President Hichilema says Africa wants to ensure that it realizes profits from the many natural resources that it is endowed with. President Hichilema adds that Africa and Zambia in particular is inviting European businesses to work together with African businesses in a manner that is beneficial to both parties. And European Union Commissioner for Agriculture, Jasus Wansekowski, says Zambia's commitment is to ensure that they fight corruption and attract foreign direct investment.
Africa pays the highest cost of capital. We would like to address these issues. But ultimately, Madam, is for the people here to understand that Zambia is not threatening anyone. Africa is not threatening anyone. By us wanting to change the narrative of the centuries of trade with Europe, that we export raw materials, now we want to export value-added materials. We're not threatening Europe. We're inviting Europe to work with us. So Africa can realize her benefits out of its natural resource endowments and other factors, but that doesn't mean taking away something from Europe, but working with European people, European businesses, making Africa, Zambia, Africa better, making the world better.
Alliance for Community Action says the lack of access to information bill will make it difficult for community members to keep track of projects that will be done in their communities using the Constituency Development Fund. Speaking to Camnet News, ACA Information and Advocacy Officer Andrew Banda says demanding the detailed information such as receipts will be challenging as they have no legal backings. He has since reminded the government to expedite the implementation of the Access to Information Bill into law.
Transparency in community development is essential if to ensure full participation of the community, from identifying what projects should be undertaken to ensuring that such infrastructure is safeguarded from vandalism. Zambia is set to see more community projects spring up in the next 5 years as the United Party for National Development UPND administration has emphasized on bringing about grassroots development using the Constituency Development Fund CDF. It is for this reason that CDF was increased to 25.7 million kwacha from 1.6 million kwacha. However, the Alliance for Community Action ACA says without the Access to Information Bill ATI, it will be difficult for communities to ask relevant information concerning the projects as they will have no legal backing. ACA Information and Advocacy Officer Mr. Andrew Banda was speaking to Camnet News.
When it comes to CDF and the Access to Information Bill, I think the two go together, and it's in two respects. One, citizens are everywhere. The Anti-Corruption Commission is not everywhere. The Auditor General's office is not everywhere. So the citizens are the easiest instruments to use to blow the whistle on mismanagement, to blow the whistle on corruption. And so if you give them the Access to Information Bill, one, they can go to the offices and ask for information, the minutes, the budgets, and all these plans, so that they know that their money is being spent prudently.
He adds that citizens are highly expectant that the UPND administration will push for the bill, which has been a failed matter in successive administrations.
These institutions which are given government money will also be compelled to proactively release this information, so that not every time a citizen has to go to those offices to look for information. So the Access to Information Bill and CDF are two critical instruments which work hand in hand. And now we have CDF increased, we don't have access to information. So that's a very, very big danger, and the government should look upon it.
Stakeholders have been calling for the Access to Information Bill for many years now, but to no avail. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News, Lusaka.
Former Tourism Minister RONALD CHITOTELA has cried for peace while accusing the Anti-Corruption Commission of maliciously persecuting him for a long time. Speaking to the media shortly after his discharge by the Magistrate Court in a case he was facing 2 counts of being in possession of property suspected to be proceeds of crime, Mr. CHITOTELA challenged the Commission to focus on fighting corruption in the country and not him. Earlier, Lusaka Magistrate Jennifer Walia discharged Mr. CHITOTELA from the 2 counts of corruption charges owing to the fact that he entered a consent settlement agreement with the Commission and hence cannot be prosecuted for the same offence. Meanwhile, the Commission says it will appeal the decision by the court to discharge the accused from the case. Details in this report.
In a twist and turn of events, former Tourism Minister RONALD CHITOTELA, who was supposed to be tried by the Lusaka's Magistrate Court under the Specialized Economic Financial Crimes Court, following his recent arrest by the Anti-Corruption Commission, has been discharged. The former Cabinet Minister, who is currently serving as Patriotic Front Pambashe Constituency Member of Parliament, was slapped with 2 counts of being in possession of property suspected of being proceeds of crime. However, he argued that he and A.C.C entered a consent settlement agreement to exempt him from prosecution on the said allegations. Challenging his prosecution, Mr. CHITOTELA, who first appeared before Lusaka Magistrate Jennifer Walia on the 5th of May 2022, made an application before he could even take plea in the case. His submission through his lawyers were that the 2 offences that he possessed a property valued at 380,000 kwacha believed to be proceeds of crime, while in the other count that he received 500,000 kwacha from Vale Construction Limited through RKC Travel and Guide Limited, monies alleged of being proceeds of crime, were subject of a consent settlement agreement pursuant to Section 80 of the A.C.C Act No. 3 of 2012, hence could not be prosecuted of the same offence. While the A.C.C prosecutors objected and urged the court not to entertain the application, but to order for the matter to proceed to trial, the court then reserved a ruling. And when the matter came up Wednesday morning, the 18th of May 2022, Magistrate Walia discharged Mr. CHITOTELA on account of the consent settlement agreement that he entered with the Commission. In a ruling, the court found the charges against the lawmaker to be incompetent on ground that he could not be prosecuted on the same charges after his settlement agreement with the Commission. The court further took into consideration the said settlement agreement, which was produced by the defense dated June 24, 2019, and had a signature stamp of the Director General of the A.C.C and a signature stamp of a Chief Resident Magistrate then. The court has, however, indicated that it is only a mere discharge and not an acquittal for Mr. CHITOTELA. And speaking shortly after his court appearance, the lawmaker accused the A.C.C of maliciously prosecuting him and not fighting corruption.
I want to appeal to the Anti-Corruption Commission and the investigative wings. They must fight corruption, not fight CHITOTELA. This is a clear demonstration that they are not fighting corruption, they are fighting individuals. They've been fighting me for a long time. Nanaka. In Bemba we say akanyele lenga wakapimpira kalasuma. Yes. I'm tired. I want to appeal to them to fight corruption and not fight CHITOTELA. Let us respect the law. We declare ourselves to be the country that will be governed by the law of law. So we must be able to respect the law. Unfortunately, I want to repeat, instead of investigating crime, we are pressing people and begin investigating the people. That's why I'm saying, don't fight CHITOTELA. Fight corruption. If you want to fight CHITOTELA, I think I have been prosecuted for long. I need peace.
Still in denial of the court's ruling, A.C.C says it will appeal the decision by the court.
The Commission will immediately exercise its right to appeal the decision on the basis that, among others, a settlement agreement under Section 80 of the Anti-Corruption Act No. 3 of 2012 is only tenable when an accused person has fulfilled 2 conditions, and these conditions are: 1. he or she has given a full and true disclosure of all material facts relating to past corrupt conduct and an illegal activity. 2, he or she has voluntarily paid, deposited, or refunded all property the person acquired through corruption or illegal activity.
Miriam Kaimba, reporting for Camnet TV News.
And finally, in the news, a committee representing over 4,000 retirees from the National Housing Authority, ZESCO, and the Lusaka City Council have bemoaned the slow pace at which the authority is dispersing money to the local superannuation fund. In an interview, representatives say despite the Ministry of Finance having begun their said payments, which amount to about 600 million kwacha in 2020, and have only received 350 million kwacha, which has also been done in phases over the last 2 years. They have since called for quick and full payments of their money, saying they cannot make any meaningful investment with the current system of payment. Details in this report.
These are representatives of over 4,000 retirees from the Lusaka City Council, the National Housing Authority, ZESCO, and other public institutions who have begun receiving payments under the Local Authority Superannuation Fund (LASIF). While they have begun receiving payments, the retirees have expressed dissatisfaction with the payment mode, stating that it is being done in phases, which is preventing them from making any meaningful investments. The committee representing the retirees has told Camnet News that out of about 600 million kwacha, the group has only been paid 350 million kwacha since 2020, which is also done after prolonged periods of 6 months at times.
If possible, they can manage to pay in full the 450. It means that RASIF will have led to burden. And also looking at the money as if they are raised bit by bit. Our retirees, the main concern is they are failing to do their projects because the money which is being given, it now becomes like just support, maybe for school, maybe for agriculture inputs. But if someone is raising a house, maybe the roof level, it needs substantial amount of money for him to finish his project. So that's our plea and our main concern.
We were here to brief our members that is true the government has released the sum of 150 million to the retirees. We really appreciate the effort put up by the government. Yes, the 150 has reached LASIF and it has even started the pay. Now the balance, of course, is still there of about 450. It is only our hope that this one will also be looked into, because problems are still there.
When we retire, it's not a sin. When we retire, it means we give room for our children to get employment. So meaning that for us, when we have retired, because the number is increasing, mind you, the 150 is not enough, but the number of retirees is increasing, is going up. Let's have a good amount of money so that retirees should not be suffering.
They have since called for speedy and full payment, stating that they have waited for the said money for a long time and it will be of no help to them if paid in small portions. Zipporah Mshala, Camnet News.
For that news item brings us to the end of our media news. The headlines once again. President Hakainde Hichilema denies being a puppet of the West. The Anti-Corruption Commission to appeal against RONALD CHITOTELA'S discharge by the Magistrate Court. Well, thank you so much for choosing Camnet TV. My name is Sharon Kalimbola. Good afternoon.